Hey guys, what's up? Today I have a video on hair porosity. This will be a series, so today is part 1 of the series. Today you will find out about hair porosity and how to find your hair's porosity. So hair porosity is probably something that you've heard of and you know what it is, but you never really taken into consideration about when you're building your hair care regimen or whenever you're picking products in the store. If you find out your porosity, you can save so much time and money on products that you've just been buying and just pretty much, finding out if it's a hit or miss for you. That's pretty much how I've been my whole entire natural journey. I've been just buying products, looking on YouTube, seeing what works for somebody's hair texture that's similar to mine. And a lot of times it doesn't really matter about the hair texture, it matters about the porosity. And that is really, really important in your hair care journey. If you're trying to grow your hair healthy, if you're trying to just take care of your hair and get the fullest out of your texture, it leads on to so many different things. So hair porosity is really, really important. Don't ignore it. So if you aren't familiar with porosity, your first question probably is, what is porosity? Well, to answer your question, porosity refers to your hair's ability to absorb and hold moisture, okay? So there's high porosity, there's low porosity, and there's normal to medium porosity. I don't really like to say normal because what's normal anyways, you know? So first we're going to talk about low porosity hair. Hair that has low porosity is usually healthy, virgin, unprocessed hair. Low porosity hair repels moisture and it takes longer for the hair to actually absorb water or moisture. So you may get under the shower to wet your hair and it just beads off of your hair and it takes a while for your hair to absorb the moisture. Low porosity hair also takes longer to dry because the cuticle is so tightly bound on the cortex. Low porosity hair is also very prone to product buildup. So if you use heavy butters and heavy oils on your hair, you might find yourself having to have wash days more than normal. The reason why heavy butters and heavy oils don't work on low porosity hair is because low porosity hair actually needs help to get the product into the hair. So if there's heavy butters and heavy oils on top of the cuticle of the hair, where is the moisture? How's the moisture going to get into there? So basically, it's really hurting your hair more than it's helping your hair. Another thing that you may notice whenever you have low porosity hair is that when you use products with a lot of protein in it, you find that your hair is either dry or hard, feeling brittle. That's because a lot of the times whenever you have low porosity, your hair is protein sensitive. Not all the time, but most of the time your hair is protein sensitive when you have low porosity hair because your hair doesn't need protein. It already is strong enough. It needs moisture. But every hair type needs to be balanced, so don't get it confused. I will touch up on that in a later video. Now let's talk about a high porosity hair. Now this is a touchy subject because a lot of people who have high porosity hair get offended whenever people say that their hair is damaged. Well, this is the thing. Usually your hair isn't naturally highly porous. So if you have high porosity hair, it's probably because it has been treated with heat, treated with color, treated with some kind of chemical of some sort, or exposure to the sun can also cause a high porosity. Relaxed hair is also considered high porosity hair. Hair that is highly porous kind of resembles this pine cone. Maybe not so extreme in some cases, but usually this, you kind of get the picture here, right? So your cuticle is lifted from the cortex. So this is the cortex and these are your cuticles. So hair that is highly porous can absorb lots of moisture and in some cases way too much, and whenever it dries up it actually lets out the moisture. So just as much moisture as it can absorb, it lets out. So a lot of the times people with colored hair or chemically altered hair, they have issues with dryness because the moisture goes into the hair, but once it's dry, it's like, where did the moisture go? There are certain steps to take to, maintain the moisture levels of highly porous hair, so don't freak out. I will touch up on that in the next video. Highly porous hair also dries very, very quick. So if you find that your hair dries really, really quick, that's probably because you have highly porous hair. So as I stated before, highly porous hair is usually damaged to some kind of degree. The cuticles damaged to some kind of degree, some more than others. And because of that reason, it usually needs protein. So protein products usually work really, really well on highly porous hair because the hair needs protein. It needs something to fill in those gaps where the cuticles are broken. Now, hair that has normal to medium porosity, like I said, I don't like to call it normal. Hair that has medium porosity usually doesn't have any problems like high porosity or low porosity has. It's usually pretty much the ideal type of hair porosity, okay? So what I mean by ideal is it doesn't lack protein and it doesn't lack moisture. It usually is pretty much perfectly balanced, if that makes any kind of sense. Now, a lot of you may say, well, my hair does a little bit of both. That's probably because it is very possible that you have low porosity and high porosity hair. Now, usually transitioners have high porosity ends and low porosity roots. Does that make sense? Because usually when you're transitioning from a relaxed hair, which is highly porous, or heat damaged hair, which is highly porous. And whenever your new growth comes in, you have what? Low porosity roots and high porosity ends. So with that being said, that's why it's very difficult for transitioners to find a specific hair care regimen to work with both hair textures, because they need to be both treated differently, okay? In the next video, I will show you how to care for high porosity, low porosity, and transitioning hair. So please stay tuned for the next episode. But for right now, I will show you how to find your hair's porosity. Okay, so in a tall glass of room temperature water, I'm just gonna go ahead and take a few strands that's clean, dry, and free of product. And I'm just gonna go ahead and set it on top of the surface of the water. You don't wanna force it or push it in. Now just wait a few minutes, about 10 or so, and watch for your hair to either float, sink, or stay in the middle. If it floats, then you have low porosity hair. If it sinks, then you have high porosity hair. And if it just lingers and stays in the middle, then you have medium porosity. As you can see, mine stayed afloat, so that means that I have low porosity hair. And even after about 20 minutes or so, it was still floating. So that just goes to show you how resistant my hair is to water. So that was the sink or float method. There's also another method that I'm going to show you or explain to you. You take a single strand of hair, I know you can't see mine, and you run your finger along the strand of hair, okay? So if you have a lot of bumps and ridges, that pretty much tells you that you have high porosity hair, because you can kind of feel where the damage is or where the open cuticles are. Okay, so you can feel that. And mine is definitely still low porosity. Low porosity is going to be smooth and you're not going to feel ridges. Of course you're going to feel texture because your hair is textured, but you're not going to feel ridges and bumps and unevenness basically. So I really hope that this video helped you identify your porosity. Like I said, stay tuned for more because I do have more videos coming up on how to care for high porosity, low porosity, and transitioning hair. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, also share the video. And down below, I want you to comment, what is your porosity level? So I will see you in my next video, guys. Peace and love.